Hello, hello. Welcome to the webinar. Sean Stephenson speaking secrets. I'm Sean Stephenson. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We're going to let everybody get onto the program. So take your time, get yourself in a comfortable position, get out a journal to take a lot of notes, and have some tasty beverage nearby. Hopefully something non-alcoholic so you can stay with me. So we'll start in just a few minutes. We'll see how many people are going to show up here. Awesome. All right, as everybody is coming on to the program, I'm going to send out a little bit of a chat here, and I'm going to need you to respond. So I'm going to ask the question, type yes if you can see this text, please. Okay, perfect. So we are continuing to wait a few minutes. All right. All right, so we are still getting everybody hopping on right now. So like I said, get a notepad out and also make sure you have a nice beverage. I don't know what accent that is, so I do not mean to offend any country that might be viewing this. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to learn a lot. I'm going to share some of my best material about a 17-year career that I've had here. And I got to tell you, if I'm being honest with you, this is more exciting and more invigorating than if I were on stage right now in front of 15,000 people. And I promise you, there won't be 15,000 people on this program. But this is more exciting to me because this is kind of like the behind the scenes. This is my truth, how I built my business. And I've been putting off doing this type of course for years. And I'm going to explain why I've been putting it off in the program, but we're just going to wait a few more minutes to have everybody logging in here. So why don't you type in your state or country if you're not in the United States. Country. Let's see who's on this program. Hi, Sean. I'm able to see the chat. Great. Hello, Sergio. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Mary. Hello, Jennifer, Kristen, Christine, Christy. Oh, my goodness. Lots of different... we got Greg. There's so many countries coming in. We got California, Colorado. We got Oregon. We got Germany. Oh, my goodness. Thanks for staying up whatever time it is in Germany. We've got Maine, U.S., Brazil, Mexico City, Netherlands. I mean, my breath is being taken away here because I had no idea it would be this populated. Holy cow. Okay, so who else we got here? Denmark, New York City, Ontario. We got Fair Oaks, California, Solana Beach, California. Man, there's people from all around the world. Arizona. Hello, my Arizona friends. I'm talking to you from Arizona right now. Michigan, California, Virginia, New Zealand. Hello, New Zealand. Oh my goodness, this is making me tear up. This is awesome. All right, Pennsylvania. We'll just start. This is too much fun for me to stop. London, Spain, North Carolina, Morris Plains, New Jersey. Goodness sakes, where else? Tampa, Florida, Tijuana, Mexico. Oh, heck yeah. We are coming in from all around the world here. Phoenix, Arizona, another individual, Wisconsin, Las Vegas, Oak Brook, Illinois, got to give it out to Oak Brook. The Cayman Islands, that's great. Idaho, perfect. Oh my goodness, you guys got to stop. You're making me blush. You're making me tear up a little bit. All right, so as we begin here on this program, I want to just for you. And to set the stage, I think it's to be real authentic and to tell you that this scares me. This gets me radically out of my comfort zone, because if I share with you some of the things that I do as a professional speaker to make myself really have a commanding presence, well, then I run the risk that you know my secret sauce. I run the risk that I no longer become amazing in your eyes as a speaker, because it's like somebody explaining to you how a magic trick works. And so it's almost like it takes a little bit of the magic away. And that scares me, to tell you how my tricks work. And while we only have a little bit together here this evening, and I can only share so much, I just want you to know that it's more important to me that this magic that I have here, that I've gathered from masters in the field of speaking, that you're able to have it too. That you're able to experience some of the things that I have to teach here tonight and have it transcend through the internet into your life, so that the next time you have an opportunity to either give a professional speech and actually paid a nice check, whether it's $10,000 or not, if it's $500, that hopefully something I'm teaching here this evening, well, I hope it makes you feel a lot more confident as a speaker. And more importantly, I hope that you're able to impact people, because, you know, I love making money and I love standing ovations, and I'm not going to act like I don't have an ego. I certainly do. But I hope to keep my ego in control, to keep it in check. And I can tell you what's far more enjoyable than the money and the fame that you will gather if you really implement some of the tools, and if you end up working with me down the road, is making an impact on another person's life. And I asked the question on my Facebook page this week, if you could speak about anything, any topic, what would you speak on? What would be your platform? And I was overwhelmed, because it was basically an advertisement for this program, but people were just pouring their hearts out into this Facebook post. And I want to know, in your chat box, and I'll get to your responses in a moment, but I want you to write in your chat box, why do you want to be a professional speaker? Like, and just make it one line. Don't write a whole paragraph, because I can't read it all right now, but just one line, like, what is the reason that you want to be a professional speaker? What is the reason, either personally as an individual, why would it be great to be able to get paid tens of thousands of dollars for 1 hour of your time? Or globally, what is it that you want to do on this planet as a speaker? And while you're typing that up and while you're filling that in, I'm going to tell you more of why I do what I do. You know, I was born into a container where the doctors told my parents I would be dead within the first 24 hours of my life. And here we are 35 years later. All those doctors are dead now, and I'm the only professional doctor remaining from that room that day. And first of all, that joke doesn't go over that well with the hospital system. But more importantly, I'm talking to you from a place of, I'm a professional speaker, not because I love the money, not because I like the visibility. Those are fun, but because this is my path. This is my calling. Every time I've tried to get off of my path, call it God, call it the universe, call it whatever, this cosmic force comes down into my life, scoops me up, and gets me right back on my path. And I can't tell you the number of times in my life that I wanted to quit as a speaker. I mean, I've been doing this for 17 years, and there were days when I just thought, you're never going to make it. I was struggling to get a speech for $75, struggling to make $250 a speech. I was going practically door to door to elementary schools to ask them if I could be their assembly for their children. I was overwhelmed with frustration at times in this career. But I kept going forward. And that's what I hope I can inspire you to do on this program, is to know that you need to move forward. So I'm going to read some of the reasons why you guys want to be speakers, because I want to get like the purpose behind why we're on this program. To give people, Matt Phillips says, to give people the awareness and inspiration to push and achieve their life purpose. I'm a nurse and comic. We should all live in the moment. That's awesome. Somebody else says, Bob says, to help people break through their fears, reach inward and upward to their full potential. Chris says, being able to inspire others in a profound way. Salvatore says, I want to be a speaker because I want to show people how to conquer their dark side and triumph with the good inside of them. Another person says, to use my disability of OI, which is my disability as well, to inspire others to live a happy life. Another person, Danny, says, my wife and I lost our child, an 11-month-old son, 5 years ago. My goodness. Through personal perseverance, we were able to overcome and rebuild our family. Now have 2.5-year-old daughter. Oh my goodness, what are you guys doing to me? And 5-month-old son. Through this journey, I believe I can help others. Yes, you can, Danny. I hope I can teach you how. Iman says, to motivate others to make their jobs better, being passionate, and to believe in what we do. They're coming in so fast, it's hard to read, so please forgive me. Hi, Sean. I have cerebral palsy. I want to share my story of perseverance with the world. You are so inspiring, man. From one person with a disability to another. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for being on this program. Another person says, to help and inspire the folks on this planet to transform and live fuller lives. Pam says, I just want to make people laugh at the things. It's coming in so fast I can't keep up. At the things we all share in common but feel badly or guilty for. Isn't that the truth? You know, I hope that what happens on this program is that you don't just learn how to be a speaker, but I hope that something I share in this program really kind of eases your life a little bit. So if I could start off by telling you that this program is completely from my heart, and so I'm going to give you 100% of my attention, and I ask if you can do the same. So if you can shut off your phone, put it in airplane mode, if you can close all the other windows on your computer, shut your Facebook, shut your chat IMs, close your door, just kind of be here with me right now, because there's so many things tugging at your attention. And that is life, isn't it? I mean, you have so many places you could be right now, and I'm just part of this call. I know that you could be with your children, with your spouse, you could be working on your business. Well, I hope this is working on your business. But there's so many things that you could be doing right now. And by the fact that you're spending this time with me, I want you to know that I don't just take that lightly. I really think that every human being offers a ton of value on this planet. And so what I ask is that you just be here with me. Also, I'm going to challenge you on this program. I'm going to challenge all of us. Because I don't want the energy on this program to be people that are like, I'm kind of interested. I maybe want to be a speaker. I don't think this could work. I don't think Sean really knows what he's talking about. I don't think Sean's really that good of a speaker, but I'm on here to try to prove him wrong. If you have any of that energy, I'm going to tell you I love you. I really do. But I'm going to ask you leave this call. I'm going to ask you leave this program. Just close down your window, please, because I can't afford to have that energy on this program. The group can't afford to have it. This group needs to be a set of individuals who really want to learn how to break into the speaking industry. And more importantly, want to learn how to share their message. And now I'll just read a few more comments here on why people want to be professional speakers. People say, someone said here, Rob says, hello to all like-minded people on this webinar from all around the world. I love you. Okay, another one says, I've already made 2 major conferences here in my country, and your books and videos have had such an enormous impact. Thank you. I have a message on the screen that says an error occurred. I don't know what to tell you on that one, Jen. This is a new technology for me, so you'll have to bear with me. Potentially close out your window and start over. Meryl says, it's my calling. Like you, I can never step away from helping people be the best version of themselves. Even when I've tried other roles, I always come back to working with people. So, I mean, the list just goes on and on. I can't even keep scrolling fast enough with all the messages of why people want to be speakers. So this is convincing me that we're all in the right place, and that you're in the right spot, and I'm in the right spot. So we're distraction-free. We've got a beverage nearby. And we are ready to learn. So let's take it back about 20 or so years ago. And I'm in high school. And I go to apply for a part-time job. And I'm not going to mention the name of the store because for whatever reason they had at the time, or whoever was in the process of hiring, they did what they did, they said what they said. But here's what took place. So I go to work at this retail store. I know all about the products they're selling. And I send in my application. Actually, I hand it in to the manager. And a couple weeks go by, I never hear back. They don't tell me if I have the job. They don't tell me if I don't have the job. So then I think that's odd. So I then apply at a doctor's office to handle reception at a chiropractor's office. I won't mention who. I love chiropractors. I speak to chiropractors all the time. So this is no impact on that industry. It's just what I was applying for at the time. I applied to this doctor's office, and I wanted to be a receptionist. And a couple weeks went by. I didn't hear from those individuals about whether or not I was hired for this part-time job. So then I applied to work at a transportation company, and I sent in my resume. I wanted to book travel. So like you would call in, you would want a car for an engagement, and I would type in your information, everything I could physically do. There was no actual like heavy lifting or anything that my physical mobility would stop me from. I filled out the application. I even had a reference from somebody who had worked there at the time that said I was absolutely the best guy for the job. Send that in. A couple weeks go by. Nothing. Now, 3 independent industries. 3 independent job descriptions. 3 independent employers. Nobody's calling me back. And I did not want to pull the disability card because I just thought maybe if I just worked harder, sent in a better resume, they would see something this time. And I went back to each of them and talked to them. And the responses that I got were appalling. And technically, I probably could have sued all 3 companies for discriminating against me purely because of my appearance. But they all basically told me, Sean, you're a great guy. You're super smart. In fact, you would probably make a great employee. But we've never hired somebody like you. And we're not sure how that would work. So we're going to have to pass. you're going to have to pass because you've never hired someone like me. And I went home from those meetings both sad and angry. Have you ever been sad and angry at the same time? If you have, I want you to go ahead and hit yes, Sean, I have been sad and angry at the same time, and I'll just know that you are a part of this experience. But so here I am, sad and angry, and I start thinking about, well, do I want to start filing lawsuits? Do I want to start telling these companies that they're in the wrong, that they have to hire me? And then I just listened to my internal voice. You know that guiding voice that tells you whether you're in the right place? And the voice was saying, Sean, suing them is not your path. That's not your purpose. What your path and purpose is to work for yourself. Now, I am, at the time, I'm in high school, and I'm like, work for yourself? How does that happen? How do I work for myself when I've never owned a company in my life? So then, a couple of weeks after that experience of hearing that I needed to work for myself, I got asked by a school counselor if I would be willing to speak to another school about what it's like to have a disability. And they said, we'll be willing to pay you $75 for 1 hour of your time. And back in the day, in the 90s, $75 went a long way. That could buy you a lot of video games as a teenager. And so I said, heck yeah. Now, I'd never given a professional speech before. I'd been in talent shows like in grade school, but I'd never given a speech. And I got up on stage speaking to this other high school while I was in high school, and I had all these props of things that I was going to teach. I still remember the day, my first speech, and I wasn't even that good. I did make them laugh, and I did make them think, and I made a big enough impression on them that another school heard about me, and they called me and said, well, how much do you charge? And it started to grow. And then while I was in high school, I was getting paid to speak to other schools. So fast forward, now I'm in college, and schools hear about me. So then hospitals start calling and saying, hey, we hear that Sean's a professional speaker and that he speaks about disabilities, but is he willing to speak about confidence? Is he willing to speak about success? And what you'll find as a professional speaker is what you enter into the industry working on may not be 5 years, 10 years down the road what you'll continue speaking on. I entered in talking about what it was like to have a disability, but 5, 10, 17 years later, I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about sales. I'm talking about marketing. I'm talking about building your practice. I'm talking about working with therapeutic clients, things that had nothing to do with what I started speaking about 17 years ago. So I'm going to put you at ease. I want you to know you don't have to have all the pieces to the puzzle to enter into this. I want to just let you know that if you have two things, remind you, two things, you can get your start in professional speaking. One is you have to have a mission or a message, something that is important to you, something that you feel like you want to make an impact on the planet. Is that speaking about having a disability? Is that speaking about what it's like to be a woman in the workforce? Is that about how to grow your legal practice? Is that how to become a dentist? Is that how to teach children a better way to learn? What is it? I want you to write in your chat box here. I want you to tell me, what is your passion? What is your calling? Is it talking about suicide? Is it talking about depression? Is it talking about standing up for human rights? What is it that you feel like you would love to tackle on stage. I want you to start writing about that in the chat boxes, and I'll mention a few of them. But I want you to know that first thing you have to have is you have to have a mission or a message. The second thing that you have to have is you have to have either, so this is kind of like multiple parts of the second part, you either have to have an expertise, so that's like a years of study. Maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're a therapist, maybe you're a lawyer, dentist. You have some kind of trade of expertise that makes you look and become credible to the public. You either have to have that component, or you have to have some kind of following, meaning you have a YouTube following or a blog or a big Facebook page or something that is of interest to the masses, that you could say, Sean, I've already got a built-in group of people that love to hear me speak. And the last thing that you have to have, if you have to have one of these three things here, is you have to have a story. Like, why should we listen to you?
No battery power.
My camera's talking to me. Sorry about that. But you have to have a story. So let's look at this two parts. One is you have to have a mission or a message, something that's calling you, or you have to have one of these three, or at least one of these three, if not all three of these other things, which is you have to have an expertise, a following, or a story. So what do I mean by a story? Maybe you were robbed at gunpoint and your life changed forever because you got shot and you had to recover from that shooting. Maybe you had to flee your country from political exile, and you were being chased by a political party and you were trying to seek your freedom. Maybe your story is that you came from an abusive home and child abuse was a part of your life growing up. You have to have that kind of story. So if you have one of those three things, the expertise, the following, or the story, mixed with that message, that thing that's burning inside of you to teach with the world, you have a huge start in this industry. So I'm going to start reading some of these things. Brian says, an understanding that we all have the ability to create our own reality. That's awesome. Laura says, I want to show people how to open themselves up to creativity. I have many passions in the immediate future. It's dealing with insecurity surrounding introversion. Another person says, breaking down the mechanics of psychology. Another individual is talking about disadvantaged youths. I made that awkwardly plural, youth. I've been in a youth shelter when I was 18, survived. I want to be a director of youth shelter. I mean, these are like, you're basically telling me mental illness and sex trafficking, learning to love yourself. Everybody has some calling that they feel like they want to share with the world. And it's of my importance to be a part of that. So let's take a time out for a moment. And I want you to just kind of drop your pen if you're taking notes. Just take a deep breath in through your nose. Another one. I want you to close your eyes, and I want to take you on a journey. I want you to go through a visualization activity with me, because I want to prepare your mind for where we're headed. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you're meeting me at a train station. And you show up at this train station, and I have a bag with me. I'm ready to go on this train trip with you. And you have lots of bags with you. You're carrying lots of baggage, and you're bringing it to me, and you say, okay, Sean, I'm packed and ready. Let's go on this trip. I want to learn from you. I want to get on this train, and I want you to train me as we move forward in this journey. So I tell you, why are you bringing all those bags? You don't need to bring all that baggage. You could let it go. You could just take one of those bags. You could drop everything else. And at first you kind of look at me a little concerned. You're like, Sean, I'm here to learn from you, and I'm packed and ready. Why are you telling me to drop my bags? And I tell you because the train car that we're going in, it's super special. And we don't want to fill it up with lots of baggage. We just want to get on there. We just want to ride and learn from each other. And so you're a little hesitant, but you put your bags down and you trust me. And you get on the train. And the conductor hands you hand the conductor your ticket. And the ticket says yourself. And so you train yourself to get on this program, and you go into the special car with me, and we sit down, and we're at this fun little table where we can look across this table at each other, and we talk. We talk about your life, we talk about my life, and you start telling me your story. You start telling me where you come from and the challenges you faced. And at times you even cry, and I'm crying with you because you're talking about the pain you've gone through. You're talking about those unfair moments where you wouldn't wish upon anybody. And I tell you some of my unfair moments. I talk to you about what it's like to be me, and I tell you about how, growing up it wasn't easy. Being stared at, being 3 feet tall, being made fun of. I talk about how I was discriminated against trying to enter into the workforce. And then you tell me more about your life. You tell me about who you loved, who you love now. You talk to me about what you don't like about your life now. And you're talking to me about how you really would love to make more money and also have more time, more free time to do the things that you're passionate about. And you're talking to me with such conviction. And you're saying things like, Sean, if I could just leverage my time better, if I could just do something that was tied to a mission, if I felt like I was on purpose, man, my life would be so much better. And I nod, and I'm getting you. I'm totally there with you. Because I've been down that road. I've been scared that I wasn't going to make an impact on this planet, or that I wasn't going to financially succeed, or that I was going to be working around the clock and always feeling behind. But I lay out a plan for you on this train. We're on this train yourself, and I'm teaching you about how you have a story to tell. And human beings love stories. We're read our stories to us when we're kids, and we're tucked in cozy, and someone we care about hopefully reads us the story. Or maybe that didn't happen for us, but we saw that in a movie, and we thought, I love that. I would love to be in that safe, warm space where somebody is looking after me and telling me it's going to be okay. And I walked you through this program that shows you that you have a message that needs to be shared with the world, that you can't keep playing small. You can't keep getting up every day working for somebody else's dreams. You can't keep worrying about how you're going to pay your bills. Life is short. You have to be able to create a life where you could work from anywhere, where all you need is an airport and a laptop, and you can make really good money. And I start telling you about my career. And I start telling you about how I've managed in my life to do some magical things that most people wouldn't believe. I tell you about how I was on the Oprah show as a child. And I talk to you about how later in life, I put together a goofy little video on YouTube called The Dance Party that got, over 1 million views, that people around the world saw it, and people write me these emails saying how it changed their life. And I tell you about how I built my business from $75 a speech to $500 a speech to $1,500 to $5,000 to $10,000. And I talked to you about the day that somebody handed me a check for $30,000 for 1 hour of my time. And because we've been on this train for a while, and you start to look at my scrapbook, and I start showing you picture after picture of me being on stage with the Dalai Lama and the United States President and people like billionaires and Richard Branson, and I start talking to you about how crowds of thousands, auditoriums that I've gone on stage to present to, and that they're chanting my name, and it's like it's not even real that this 3 foot tall guy in a wheelchair who was supposed to be dead at birth built this career. He's throwing out first pitches at baseball games, at Major League Baseball games, and he's done all these things. He's written a book that's gotten over 10 translations around the world. And I keep referring to you, I keep saying, I don't mean to brag, but I'm excited to share this with you because I want to help you live a bigger life. I want you to have more of your dream. And you get it. You see that I'm trying to be as honest with you as I can. And on this train trip, you get it. You get that this is the time. You get that now is the space in your life to get outside of your comfort zone. And if you're ready to get outside of your comfort zone, if you're willing to stretch yourself, I want you to go ahead and say yes or hell yes, or whatever you can in the chat box. I want to know who's ready to get on this train in real life with me. You can open up your eyes, you can get back into this reality, and you can join me in this experience of learning about professional speaking, about breaking into the industry, what needs to be done to make something like $10,000 a speech. Because if you're on this program, you're still listening right now, it tells me you're serious. It tells me that you really believe that 10,000 an hour is possible. That you believe that people are saying here, hell yeah, yes, I'm on the train. That's awesome. So keep telling me because that encourages me to keep moving forward. But you got to know that this is possible for you. In fact, I'm going to teach you right now what you're going to need to do to break into the industry, what specifically you're going to need to do as a speaker. And then I'm going to warn you right now. I'm going to tell you that if you're going to get on a phone call or you're going to say face-to-face to somebody what your speaker fee is, because I'm going to be honest with you, your first speech may not be $10,000, but it could be. But your first speech, you may feel more comfortable charging $1,000. You may be more comfortable charging $5,000. Or heck, you may be ready to charge $10,000 or more. I don't want to put a cap on you, but I'm going to tell you that it's going to take some time. This is going to not happen overnight. And, I've done a lot of promotion of this event. And in promotions, to get people to get excited, you got to let them know the end results are possible. But now that you're here and now that you're on this, I got to open up more of the kimono, open more of the treasure chest, and tell you it's not going to be easy. People are writing, indeed, let's get on this train. My bag is packed. Yes, Sean. Yes. Hell yes. Yes, yes. Come on, let's go. I'm on the train. Yes. You had me at hello. Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay. There's hundreds of people. Woo, woo. Anyway, this is fun. I'm hoping you're having fun. So, as I said, it's not going to come overnight, and it's going to take some time. And I can tell you also that there's some things you're going to have to do as a speaker that are not going to be easy. First of all, I didn't build this career on accident. I had to hire people to teach me. I had to go to courses. I had to buy books and actually read them. I had to listen to countless numbers of audio programs while commuting back and forth, because you got to understand, 17 years is a long period of time. I was in high school when I started speaking. Then I was in college. I was actually, I don't have it on me right now, but we can pretend it's this. I would take a little digital recorder. Actually, back in the day, it was those little cassette recorders, that had the little tapes that would go into your answering machine. Anyway, I had one of those recorders, and I would go to my classroom, and I would set it down, or I would leave it with a friend to record my lectures that I was having to experience while in college, so I didn't get kicked out of college. And so my classes were sometimes recorded while I was getting on airplanes and traveling around the country to speak, all while still going to college, all while still graduating with high honors. And I don't tell you that to brag. And as I said before, okay, maybe just a little bit. And I am proud. I mean, I graduated 3.85. On my wall over here, I have with high honors. And that was hard. That was not easy. But it wasn't easy, not because the classes were hard, but because I was also being a full-time speaker, traveling around the country doing it. I wrote my first book while I was in college. So when people tell me, like, oh, I don't know if I can write a book, you know what I tell them? I say, I was in college, I was in a fraternity, I was chasing girls, and I was still able to write a book, publish that book, get it out there, and sell thousands of copies. So I don't do well with excuses. I don't do well with other people's excuses because I know that I'm not doing them any justice by believing their excuses. So I can tell you it wasn't easy. It was not an easy road for me. It didn't happen overnight. But there were things that I learned along the way that accelerated the train, that made it faster for me to make more money, to make my message grow exponentially. I can tell you in 17 years, there was a period of maybe about 5 of those years that I made a few changes that I'm going to share with you on this program, so you're going to want to stay through the whole program, that accelerated my speaking career, that accelerated what I could charge. I went from $5,000 a speech to $10,000 in one day, and I'm thing that I had to learn to build my expertise, my doctorate. I have a doctorate in clinical hypnosis that I use. I use hypnosis with my audience while I'm on stage. Between my doctorate, between all the books and business that I read, between the seminars and courses that I went through, between the branding consultants that I met with, between the marketing coaches, between the sales coaches, between the web experts that told me how to position my website, all of that cost me well over, I added up today, well over $100,000. So $100,000 of education, 17 years. This has not come easily, but I can tell you I'm happy to share it with you because I wished that 17 years ago somebody was on a webinar. I wish they had webinars back then, but I wish somebody on a webinar was willing to share some secrets with me to help me accelerate this process. And so I invested a lot. And you're not going to be able to break into this industry without investing. I don't think you need to spend 100 grand. In fact, I hope you don't spend 100 grand because it doesn't cost that much if you have the right expertise coming to you, if you have the right information. But you're going to need to spend some money. And you're going to need to be okay with asking for money as a speaker. You're going to be on a phone call one day, and somebody's going to say, yes, Kate, yes, Thomas, Patricia, Mary, Jacob, Mitch, Frank, we want to know, what's your fee? And if you don't feel worth your fee, if you're scared, if you're frightened to tell somebody your fee, if you are so scared to make money helping people, because there's only two ways to make money, helping somebody or hurting somebody. Maybe we could say there's a neutral, like I designed something that is kind of like a silly entertainment thing, but for the most part, you're either going to make money doing something that you're proud of or something that you really don't feel proud of. So you got to be able to be on a phone and be able to command a price and be okay with making that money. Just like you're going to have to be okay with spending that money. In fact, as I continue with this, I want to be honest and let you know that on this program, at the end of this program, I'm going to be sharing with you an opportunity. And it's not for everybody. Let's be real. It's not for everybody. There's a lot of people on this program, and only a small percentage are really going to want to take this to the next level. And so, no matter whether you're in that group or in the group that's I'm interested, Sean, but I got to learn a little bit more. I want you to stay on for this whole program because I have an incredible offer for you that's going to be a no-brainer. In fact, I set it up so that it's extremely affordable and the time is just right. So if you really want to go to the next level, you want to invest in your career, know that I have that to share with you. And some people freak out. Some people are like, oh, Sean's going to sell us something. Look, if you want to be a speaker, first of all, you got to be okay with being sold things and selling things. And you want to watch how I'm putting this together because if you want to make more money in your business, you need to be okay with learning about sales. You got to see that sales is not about taking from somebody. That's not what sales is all about. What a good sales experience and conversation is all about is about bringing way more value to the table than they're ever going to pay you. So that they feel like they're actually getting away with something. That they feel like, holy cow, I can't believe he offered it to me for that price. And so I have something for you a little bit later after I explain my secrets here that we can continue this conversation in person and that I would love to be your mentor down this road of being a professional speaker. To the what now? I mean, I've told you about my credibility. I've told you that I've been a professional speaker for 17 years now. What I didn't tell you is I have a 14-year dream coming true this year. Hold on for just a second. I'm going to get something on this table over here, and I'm going to show it to you because I'm really excited. What I have, I should have put this a little closer. Okay, I got it. What I have is, oh, you can see I'm wearing red shorts. Woo! Yeah, that matches nicely. That's another thing. As a professional speaker, you just gotta roll with it. I can't tell you the number of times that crazy things have happened to me while I'm on stage. If I could just divert for a second, I've been on stage. I was in, oh gosh, where was I? I think I was in Cincinnati, or I don't know, somewhere in Ohio, I believe. I was on stage, and there was this huge gymnasium that I was in, and there was a wall over here. Just imagine that you're on stage speaking. There's a huge wall that rolls back like a garage door, right? And I'm on stage, and I'm talking to this audience. I think there's about 1,000 people, maybe 2,000 people in the room. And as I'm reaching the crescendo of my speech, I kid you not, I wish that this speech was recorded. It was not recorded, sadly. A bolt of lightning came streaking in through that huge wall that was open and strike the ground. I mean, literally, a bolt of lightning, a crash sound. It was crazy. If that wasn't crazy enough, I've been on stage and I was speaking and I was on this this had this long catwalk and I was at the end of it. There was a couple hundred people in the room and it all of a sudden sounded like there was a piano being moved behind me and it just kept getting louder and louder. And then my dad, who travels with me when I speak, he jumped up and he yelled, "Sean, get back, it's an earthquake." And I just quickly rolled back and that platform practically broke off. I've been on stage where dogs somehow got loose in the crowd and were running around the crowd barking hysterically crazy. I've had so many different things, so little red shorts, not that big of a deal for me. And you're going to learn as a professional speaker, you got to roll with the punches, kid. All right, so back to my 14-year goal. this year, after being in the National Speakers Association for since 2000, I have always wanted to be the main stage speaker, a keynote speaker. So one of the head honchos that comes up and addresses a room of all professional speakers. So 1,000 to 2,000 professional speakers in this audience, people that are the best in the industry, people that are making 6 and 7 and sometimes even 8 figures as professional speakers are in the audience watching the best of the best on stage. And I'm happy to report that this is the advertisement for this year's convention. I am one of the main presenters on this convention. This is Penn from Penn and Teller in Vegas. And so that's coming up here, and I'm super excited to be presenting at that. That's a 14-year goal in the making. Why do I tell you that? Because I want you to know that this material that I'm teaching is being seen as valuable to even the best of the best. I've been brought on as experts in numerous different television shows, from being on CNN to NBC, ABC, CBS, the New York Times. I've been on Fox News. I mean, I've been on all these different affiliate, both minor markets and major markets, and I can tell you that this expertise that I've developed, it's not been easy. So let's get down to the actual content. If you're ready for content, go ahead and say, Sean, bring it, or I want to see it, or tell me the goods, give me your secrets, and I would be happy to do so. Let's see also what people were saying before. People are saying, I want to make 10,000, I want to make 2,500. My first lecture would be free, but I'm ready for more. Yeah, so let's move forward and teach you some actual physical things that you're going to want to do as a speaker. All right, so when you're preparing, you have to know that in speaking, there's 4 parts to speaking. This is where you're going to want to take good notes. First part is the letter C for content. The content is your message. It's what you're going to be saying. It's your expertise. It's your stories. It's all of the actual things that you're going to say. You need to hone your content. Because there's a lot of speaker training courses out there. And I'm not going to put down any of them, because anybody that's out there willing to teach others about how to get into the industry of professional speaking, I commend them, because I think we could use more speakers on this planet. I'm a big believer, just like the creator of the National Speakers Association, Cabot Robert, that there's a speaker in all of us. But I can tell you that of a lot of the speaker training courses out there, many of them don't talk about the content enough. They don't share that you have to have something brilliant to say. You have to have something moving to say. You have to be willing to say things that bring people to tears. And I'm going to talk to you about why it's important to make people cry in a speech. So we're going to talk about the content here. And there's 4 parts. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I'll briefly mention them. So the next part that you have to have under your awareness as a speaker of the mechanics. What do I mean by the mechanics? That means you have to have your delivery down pat. You have to be able to be on stage and put together your vocal qualities in a way that's engaging. You have to have aspects of your speech that are intriguing, and in the way that you deliver it. Next 35 minutes. Interesting. So what does this mean to you? Well, you have to have content, you have to have your mechanics. The next thing is you have to have your mindset. The mindset is huge. You have to be willing to, sorry, this system is getting goofy on me here, but you have to have mindset of how to handle your speech before, during, and after your message. A lot of people think about, oh, if I'm going to be a incredible professional speaker, I'm going to have to just worry about what I say on stage. Not true. That it's a lot of psychology. It's not just what you say, but it's how you think about yourself when you're on stage. I'm going to share with you a little technique that I do that gives me a huge advantage over other speakers. It's why I can charge $10,000 and more. So your mindset, how you handle yourself before, during, and after a speech. Lastly is the marketing. You have to understand how do you sell and package your message, and who do you package it for, and where do you go. And let me tell you, that is a huge entire course in itself that I'm going to be offering to you if you're interested. But you have to get that you have all four of these parts. So let's review them. You need incredible content. You need an incredible marketing, mindset, mechanics. Okay, you have to have incredible mechanics. You have to have incredible mindset. And you have to have incredible marketing. So you have to have the CM cubed. If you don't have one of those four down pat, you will never be able to charge and make $10,000 a speech. Because if you're missing the content, people are going to say you're a fluff speaker, you're not worth it. If you're missing the mechanics, they're going to say you're boring. They're going to say you stutter on stage. They're going to say that you put people to sleep. If you don't have the mindset on stage, they're going to say, I don't really trust him. He or she wasn't very confident. They're not going to feel like you're truly impacting them because you're not truly believing your own message. And if you don't have the marketing, well, then no one will know about you. One of my mentors in speaking, Larry Wingett, Larry talks about how to be a good speaker, you have to have people know about you, and you have to have people talking about you because they know about you. In other words, you got to be damn good, as he says, and people got to know that you're damn good. Because if either one of those are missing, you can't build it. I'm breaking it down into fours: content, mechanics, mindset, marketing. Got it? If that makes sense to you, type in your chat box, Sean, I get it. I need these four components. They're all important to me. So go ahead and write in your chat box, Sean, I get it, or Sean, I understand. And we will have questions here later if there's time. So I'm going to take two aspects from that four parts. I'm going to talk to you about arranging your content, and I'm going to talk to you about mindset. Then I'm going to share with you an incredible opportunity that if you're serious and you want to get into this, that you're not just here for the freebies, that you actually feel like, Sean, I'm already learning from you from the free stuff. Teach me more. I want you to be my mentor. Okay, where did everybody go?